Welcome to Carter G. Woodson High School's Class of 2026 graduation ceremony.
I would now like to welcome to the podium Woodson science teachers and Purple Star liaisons Bryce Benson and Joel Fudge for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, hey! Forward, march!
Please be seated.
First, we want to recognize the honor graduates who have earned a 4.0 or higher cumulative grade point average. Would all of our honor graduates please stand? Thank you. Please be seated.
Let's go, Andrew!
Now we recognize the members of the National Honor Society. These students have achieved and maintained a GPA of 3.5 or higher. In addition to scholarly achievement, student membership is based upon outstanding performance in the areas of leadership, service, character. They have collectively volunteered thousands of hours of community service. Members of the National Honor Society, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated.
Let's go, Andrew!
I would now like to welcome to the podium Mr. Josh Peters.
Each year, all seniors are invited to submit their names for consideration as the student speaker at graduation. We often have several seniors submit speeches, creating what's always a very difficult decision for our selection committee. Our speaker this year truly stood out as a model representative for the graduating class. He's a member of both the varsity boys tennis team as well as the speech and debate club, and also a member of the Computer Science Honor Society. This fall, he will be attending the University of Virginia. It's my pleasure to introduce the student speaker for the Woodson High School class of 2026, Ramon Shrestha.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to thank everyone who's in attendance today or watching on the live stream, whether it be family, friends, staff, or anyone else. I also want to specifically thank my friend Chloe as the person who inspired me to keep writing this very speech. Now, as Mr. Peters said, my name is Ramon, and today we are here to celebrate a very special occasion. I want to begin by asking you all a question. What word comes to mind when I say the name Woodson? Maybe you said inclusive, or maybe diverse. Or you might have even said great students and staff, which is 4 words, but who's counting? These are all great answers that go to show the amazing community and culture we have here. But for me, the word maze comes to mind. Now before you squint at me in confusion, let me explain myself. Unlike many other schools with gaping common areas or vast hallways, Woodson has its fair share of winding and repetitive halls. Because of this, many of us spent our first few weeks hunched over with a map in one hand and a schedule in the other, trying to figure out how to get somewhere like T Hall, a hallway within a hallway, and then running into the traffic nightmare that is the A Hall stairwell, the only thing worse than rush hour. But while Woodson is like a maze, the real labyrinth was our high school experience, as we navigated through blindly, unsure of the end, and each found our own paths, facing diverse experiences that ultimately shaped who we are. Along this strenuous journey, we experienced a lot, like having Mr. Evans as a sub and getting to hear from his endless well of knowledge, or the joys of having Hay on the soccer pitch. There will never be that much room again. We even survived our fair share of crises, like the COVID pandemic and the gas price surge that came with it. The war in 2022 and the gas price surge that came with that, or even the ongoing peak in gas prices. 3 of the reasons I still choose to bike everywhere. In this current time, the world is changing faster than ever, and the effects of those changes are ever present in our lives. The growth of AI has altered what everyday life looks like and is continuing to evolve. While on the local scale, the phone policy and weapons detection became new hoops to jump through. But like traps in a maze, every obstacle became a signal to change course in our approach. We adapted again and again, rising to challenges, and without even realizing it, we became experts. Stephen Hawking once said that intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. And by that measure, this class is one of the most intelligent to ever walk these halls. Throughout the labyrinth that was our high school experience, there were many dead ends that we faced. Personally, that came in the form of debate competitions with weeks of preps and long days competing to come home empty-handed. Each failure stung like a bee, but unlike a bee sting, it stuck with me and continued to affect my mindset. Within the highly competitive environment of Woodson, this is a commonly echoed sentiment where it feels like we are always being pushed to do more. But with the supportive community here at Woodson and the plethora of resources available, there is always a way to get back on track. Like a dead end in a maze, the setbacks are simply a sign to return and take another path. With each end, there comes a new beginning, filled with the knowledge and wisdom of a past attempt. As said by renowned explorer and rebel Monkey D. Luffy, as long as I live, there are infinite chances. So I urge you, no matter what path you take in the future, keep taking risks and tackling new opportunities. Because while you may stumble and fall, you can always get back up and push on stronger. The halls of Woodson were a maze we eventually learned to navigate. But the 4 years inside them, the real journey, that was the labyrinth. The labyrinth isn't just a trap, it's a test. Something you have to move through to prove you are ready for what is on the other side. And for 4 years, that is exactly what this experience has been. We were tested, we got lost, we hit dead ends and found new paths. And today, we walk out the other side, not the same people who walk in, but sharper, stronger, and ready. Whatever labyrinth comes next in our lives, we know how to navigate one. Congratulations, class of 2026. We did it.
Carnegie Woodson High School please accept this gift as a small token of our appreciation for representing us today? Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce our faculty keynote speaker for this year. The speaker is a teacher in our social studies department. He's also an attorney, a sponsor for the Model Judiciary Club, a former football player at Dartmouth College, and our current JV girls basketball coach, and was also voted as the most talkative student in high school. That's why we're here. He's not only an educator, but an educationalist, someone who's devoted to teaching and learning. He prides himself on providing students with real-world examples and life lessons. And after 10 years at Woodson, he's now retiring from teaching, but will thankfully continue to coach the JV girls basketball team. It's my honor to introduce the faculty keynote speaker for the class of 2026, Mr. Michael Pecora.
Mr. Greta, distinguished guests, fellow teachers, parents, friends, and soon-to-be graduates of the class of 2026, I'm truly honored to be here speaking with you here today. Now, Mr. Peters has given me a strict 5-minute time limit, but I'm guessing 6, 7. Thank you. I hope you would appreciate that. As I'm sort of graduating along with you this year, the class of 2026 will always be very special to me. Some quick shout-outs. Among the class of graduating seniors are girls that I had the distinct pleasure of coaching as part of our girls basketball program, A-Push train riders who joined me on an absurdly fast-paced journey through U.S. history, and future lawyers who took law in action or competed in mock trials with the Model Judiciary Club. Love you all. So you're like, what is that? That is a heart, apparently. I learned this. I thought a lot about what I might say today, and I decided to speak with you about my favorite subject. Now you might think, as a former lawyer and a history teacher, my favorite subject would be a recent Supreme Court case, or maybe the ideas encapsulated in the Declaration of Independence, whose 250th birthday is just a month away. No, that's not it. My favorite subject, as my family and friends and colleagues know all too well, is me. And come on, who doesn't like to talk about themselves? Indeed, there are some people who suggest that I decided to switch careers and return to the classroom because I get a captive audience of students who are legally required to be in the room. Today is even better. I was going to say hundreds, thousands of people forced to listen to me in this arena. Just take a moment. Come on, right? I'm in heaven. All right, now, before I get started, let me give you my 21st century promo of what I'm going to say. Prepare yourself. This talk will be fire. I'm not going to glaze you much. There'll be plenty of lore. Clock it. And when I'm finished, I will have enhanced my aura. Come on, that's pretty good, right? Thank you. I'm going to start with my thesis. For my students, you know how important it is to have a strong thesis. And I'm going to put it right up front and tell you what I hope you glean from this talk. There are 4 key life lessons that I think are important. 1, showing up. 2, listening. 3, being open to different possibilities. And 4, seeking to have a positive impact on others. I'm going to share 2 stories of how I ended up here and ask you to look for these lessons. Story number 1, how I became a lawyer. My life played out just like I planned it. I decided I wanted to be a lawyer in 6th grade. I watched this TV show with Jimmy Stewart as a country lawyer, and that job looked perfect in my eyes. You got to be the center of attention, which you know I love. You got to argue, and you got to compete. It was a competition with a winner and a loser. I was a sports guy, so having a scoreboard result, winning and losing, it really appealed to me. Appeal, see what I did there? That's a law poem. Come on, you guys, you gotta stay with me. All right, clearly being able to debate, argue, and communicate would be part of this career. And I've always loved to talk, and talk, and talk. And so I thought, geez, I used to get paid to talk, and I still get paid to talk. So I saw myself as a future lawyer, and so I used that as my guide for picking classes in high school, and then I joined the student government. Then I picked a college, Dartmouth, where they had a good government program where you could spend an opportunity, you could spend a semester in DC, and I thought, well, if you're going to be a lawyer, you should probably go see where the laws are being made. And when I was at Dartmouth, I went to every class. I never skipped. Why? First, I was deathly afraid that I couldn't keep up with the students that went to that school. Besides, I wanted to learn whatever I possibly could that would help me on my path toward my legal career. Basically, I showed up. Each choice I made was with the idea of how this might help me get closer to becoming a lawyer. When I was off school for a semester, I clerked in a law firm, and I listened. I listened to the lawyers. What did they say to each other? What did they say to the other side? What did they say to the clients? What did they say to the staff? For once, I shut up and I listened, and that helped me understand how law firms work. Next, I took an LSAT prep class, completed the LSAT, applied to law school, and went to George Washington University's law school. I treated my time in law school like a job. Like at Dartmouth, I went to every class, I paid attention, and I graduated with a law degree. I got a job at the law firm doing labor and employment law, and I stayed with that same firm for 24 years. As a lawyer, I gave advice, trained managers, argued in court, handled trials and arbitrations, helped clients win, and frankly lose some cases. I got to do exactly what I wanted to do when I was in 6th grade. That story includes a few lessons that are worth noting. Setting goals, making choices with those goals in mind, grinding away, staying focused, but most importantly, showing up. Whether it was in college, or law school, or my job, or the LSAT bar exam review classes, I showed up and was present, and that helped me reach my goal. Another important lesson I learned during that trek was listening. Listening to teachers, to counselors, to parents, to friends, to family, to law students, to professors, to professionals in the legal field. Listening is much harder than talking, especially for someone who loves to talk. It takes discipline to pay attention, ask questions, and really listen to what that person is saying, and not be planning your next comment in your head. Okay, now let me tell you about story number 2. How did I become a teacher? This is where being open to different possibilities plays a major role. Never would have become a teacher had I not gone to Dartmouth College. So how did I end up at Dartmouth? I gotta go back to 6th grade. I know, who knew? 6th grade, pivotal. I was this classic, gawky 12-year-old. I literally fell down on the football field with no one near me, many times. The coaches nicknamed me Twinkle Toes and Crazy Legs. Back then, coaches could be mean like that.
Be
Moaz El Tayeb. Mahad Abdi. Jawid Abebe. Navida Abbaspour Abiyane. John Khalil Akar. Hira Adad Coimbra. Adetio Adetusoye. Benisha Agikari. Malaz Adolai. Iman Kajay Afsali. Joshua Lee Aguilar. Emmett Hamilton Aiken. Haitham Al-Hadi Al-Husseini. Mariam Al-Husseini. Wasim Faiz Esset Al-Asmari. Richard Moonsuk Albrecht. Kate John Albrecht. Zain Amir Alher. Imran Hassan Nur Ali. Amanda Isabella Alejandro. Mujtaba Alisada. Charles Weber Allen. Asil Abraham Alote. Valeria Leanne Alvarado. Nanny Danelia Alvarado Hernandez. Aisha Eliana Alvarado Escalera. Talib Sofia Alvarez. Diego Antonio Alvarez Arita. Arwa Alia. Alexa Melanie Amaya. Elias AP Prechton. Claire Sophia Renate Anderson. Kendall Morgan Joy Anderson. Tia Maria Anthony. Kayla Shay Armholz. Dylan Arian Armand. Ahan Arya. El Natan Berpe Selva. Ebenezer Jonas Asrat. Prisha Atreya. Arad Muhammad Awal. Johnny George Assam. Madeline May Aho. Kavya Balachandar. Adrian Colina. Annie Wing Bond. Samuel David Banks. Maya Samrano Bancha. Marcus Jared Barbie Martin. Tucker Clark Patan. Aubrey Elizabeth Beasley. Daniel David Verbeyer. Gianna Gabriela Batamero. Graham Lee Victor. Marhad Philip Zimber. Molly Aaron Billingsley. Maximilian Stephen Lota. Graham Edmund Black. Satchel Mays Blocker. Silas Gray Blocker. Alex Teagan Moda. Annabelle Matilda Wren Moser. Kat Burpoyet. Gemma Elizabeth Braceland. Jameson Alyssa Bradshaw. Roman Sterling Braswell. Aiden Alexander Brennan. Christian Manuel Brito. Jane Catherine Shaw. Thomas Jordan Moore. Haley Keena Bryson. John Patrick Burns. Shane Edilio Camero. Julia Denise Ursulino Cancio. Thea Francesca Caponetti. Ashby / Cardoso Cejas. Hayden Grace Cariola. Sasha Christine Carnegie. Bianca Maria Castro. Lillian Rose Cesaro. Joshua Cespedes Cardoso, Caitlin Ru Chang, Jeremy Chow, Sayuri Sarah Chase, Sudhir Atif Chaudhry, Vivian Chen, Aiden Junse Chen, Seba Cherevko, Michaela Ann Childs, Ethan Hamyol Cho,
This concludes our graduation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in one final round of applause for the class of 2026. At this time, we ask that all guests remain seated as our graduates, faculty, and platform party recess from the ceremony. Graduates, please follow the direction of the ushers as you exit in an orderly manner. Once the graduates have recessed, families may meet at the north exits. On behalf of Carter G. Woodson High School, thank you for joining us in celebrating the accomplishments of our graduates. We wish you a safe and joyful remainder of your day. Congratulations again, class of 2026.
Oh, you see him?